Jacksonville.
Here come that tail in black, baby. Duval with the 88th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars select Khalid Ransom, DB, Tulane. With the 89th pick in the 2005 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Wyatt Milam, guard, West Virginia.
When you see me go out there on the field, you're going to see someone that loves the game of football, someone that enjoys it. They're going to play through the whistle, they're going to give everything they got, and they're not going to let anyone touch Trevor Lawrence. And I'm going to make that promise to them, and I'm going to make that promise to Trevor.
With the 104th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Bashal Tootin, running back, Virginia Tech.
Speed for Liam Cohen.
Hand off Tootin, breaks the tackle. He could go. Bashal Tootin, 55-yard house call.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. Got a top five on the way. Jags will be on their way to London on October 19th. They'll take on the Rams, Tony. So that one's official, as was speculated and leaked out a few days ago. The first game that we know about with the Jaguars schedule, which will come out officially tomorrow, is out, and it's the only game that they're playing overseas this time around. Yep. So I think the Vikings got a pair this year. So I guess it's time for somebody to start some rumor about them leaving Minnesota. That their stadium's only, 5 years old now? Some nonsense like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's bright and fresh and ready to go. Got a lot of great feedback from Tony Baselli coming on yesterday.
That was awesome.
It was awesome. Appreciate Tony doing that. Like the transparency. And, it won't be, not like we're going to have Tony on every day, but it won't be the last time we have Tony on. Several people hit me up, so how come he's not doing the drill anymore? Well, Tony was doing a weekly thing on the drill, much like Fred Taylor.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't do a weekly thing. Don't think Dan and Jeff might not have Tony on tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're all great friends. And they have great chemistry together. And, so I would anticipate you're going to hear Tony on all the different programs here on 1010.
I would think so. I know Big Bo was doing I think they called it the EV podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's with him and Ozier. I think that was like a once a month hour that they were sitting down together here for the last couple of months, like that kind of thing. But it is less exposure as far as we knew he was coming on like once a week with the drill.
Sure.
Like that kind of thing isn't happening as much anymore. Well, he's busier than perhaps he was directly with the team. So it's nice to hear from Bo when we get the opportunity to. Yesterday was awesome.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely. So we'll dip into a little of that today as it reflects upon our top five choices today. And our top five for this Tuesday are your top five reasons for optimism. That's what we're looking for this week. And we've done a lot of different angles here, but now that it's boiled down to, we've done the best moves of the offseason, but just boil it down to what are the five reasons? And, they don't have to be scientific or logical even. Optimism doesn't have to necessarily follow a particular pattern, man. You might be one of those people who's just optimistic every time you see your team take the field, and that's just your natural state of being. But
sure.
Whatever the case may be, share that with us today. Good morning, Dylan Denmark.
What's up, Mike?
How are you?
Well.
All right. We got our 18 in this week. We got another one coming up on Saturday, you and I. Right?
I'm playing 36 holes this weekend.
I know you are, man. So Dylan, Tony, comes to me today, and what you do? You're playing Fleming on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm playing Fleming on Sunday.
Okay, and you usually, like with a lot of places, if you're playing frequently, you got the app, right? And you just book it right there on the app. The app was not working for you, right?
Correct. Yeah, I was trying to book it online and tried to book it last night. It kept showing this box like something's wrong with the server. So then it did this morning.
So did you walk to the course?
No,
did you go carrier pigeon?
So I tried to call them last night at 7.
Oh, you used
but
the
the
phone.
Clubhouse was closed at 7. So I'm like, this ain't gonna work.
That is tough.
I'll call them in the morning.
Yeah.
So I call them this morning. I'm using the bathroom and I'm like, hey, I want to get a tea time on Sunday. Your website's not working. He goes, all right, I got you. Got it booked. And so I'm sitting there. I'm like, is this how they always used to do it? Like you just call them?
Bro, yeah. What? Yes.
That's how the whole world used to work.
Yes. And when we were young, we'd ask our parents, what did you do before the telephone, Pop?
Yeah.
Yes, we used to call them. Dylan goes, would you have to, like, get out the yellow pages or something? Well, yeah, maybe, unless you had the number memorized.
Did you have a magnet on your fridge?
You could have the
phone?
fridge magnet. There's certainly that. Maybe you've got, you probably didn't have it saved in your phone because you didn't have a smartphone.
Yeah.
But yes, we actually called the place and said, hey, can you check your availability for early afternoon on such and such a date or whatever the case may be.
You go far enough back in time, there was a period of time where if it wasn't within walking distance, you didn't go.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's just the way the world works.
But then again, walking distance, if you go far enough back.
Broader term,
like half the country.
Yeah.
Like 3 states over. Yeah, it'll take them about a week and a half, Mabel. Whatever. Yes, Dylan, we picked up the phone.
We need to see what's on the other side of those mountains.
We spoke to, I will admit, though, there's somebody in that clubhouse at 7:01, right? Just
100%.
pick up the phone, man.
Right.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Just trying to make
Yeah, it's not a government job. You're not running at it.
Trying to help you out, right? You're not clocked out. You're still there. Come on. We all know that.
You didn't send a pigeon, with a note on it, 207 Saturday, ?
Right.
And then the pigeon.
We did not do that.
Okay.
We didn't
and then you show up at 2:07 and hope that they got it.
Right. We didn't wrap a piece of paper around a stone and throw it through the
You didn't
window
get an email
either.
confirmation.
No, there was no email.
Oh,
so
that's
there's no
right,
email
that's right, for the
confirmation.
internet,
No,
that's right.
No,
Yeah.
you made the tea time and you hope that they got it
Yeah.
right.
There would be so much that you would just show up. It's like, you can't call to get a reservation at the restaurant. You just go. And if you got in, you got in. And if you didn't, it's like, well, there's a couple other spots closed.
You try to make a reservation,
Yeah,
right?
like there were times where, that's the way the world works.
Yes, exactly. Right. But now it's like,
You reserve your theater seats.
look, don't get me wrong. Everything is much more convenient. I like picking my movie theater seats. I like having the 3 middle seats when my wife and son go with me and the top row in the back.
get it.
That's where I like to be.
I do miss the days with that where with the midnight shows, like I was working at the theaters when that first started happening. Basically here in town, we had midnight shows that started with Lord of the Rings, I think was the first that I can really remember it happening with. But people would show up at 8:30, right, to be in line so they could get the seat they wanted for something that was very important to them. And now you just have to get online first to do it. It made it more of an event. Right? When you had to make your day around, if I really want that seat for this movie, it's important to me, then you had to show up an hour and a half, 2 hours early. That kind of thing. I didn't mind that even when I was working at the theater. I always thought it was kind of cool to watch people wait.
It's like, right, it was more of a big deal.
Yeah,
but
that
now
kind of
every
thing.
movie you want to see is on your phone anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's a different environment than
Whatever.
it was. Yeah.
No, it's
Same
not
as Black
better or worse.
Friday.
It's different, man. But yes, we
Yeah.
used to have to do things. We didn't have someone. We didn't go beep 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 beep, and somebody brings a bag of food to the front door.
Yeah, you just go on Amazon and be like, I want hammers, bananas, and an eagle's beak. And then it's at
and
the
an
doorstep
eagle's
12 hours
beak.
later.
Yes. Well, I mean, Amazon has the best eagle's beaks.
You
There's no
essentially
question.
hammers and the Eagle speak. Figure it out. I want it at the house tomorrow.
Right. I want it at the house, or if you get, I'll give you 2 dadays if you can ship it for free.
Yes.
All right. That's fine as well. But I wouldn't be ordering fruit through Amazon. That's me though.
Probably not.
I don't know. People do it. I don't even trust DoorDash. I don't trust any of the food delivery places, man. I like outside of pizza. Like pizza is kind of, they throw it in the box, they put it in the little warming thing.
That's
and
old school.
They bring it to you. I guess maybe it's old school.
always
Maybe
been that
that's
way.
it.
It was always delivered.
I always feel like
Yeah.
somebody's going to mess up. Like, they don't get your order right in the drive-thru half the time.
Yeah.
So I am expecting them to get it right when they're not even going to have to see you face-to-face.
Yeah, there was a Sunday this year for the Jaguars games. JP's kind enough to handle ordering all the food.
He does
for us,
handle his business.
for game days. And one week this year, he ordered pizza. And whoever was bringing the pizza to us had set it, instead of the way that you would set a pizza, had stood them on end.
Yes.
In the
so they
car.
all slid to the side of the box.
What?
Yes.
It's not glass.
Like, why would you ever do that, right?
Yeah.
But
It was wild. So half the pizza had plenty of toppings, and the other half was bread
Right,
and
more
sauce.
than plenty of toppings. But, hey, whatever, man. It's, that's the
It's like, how do you not get it right
world
with
we
pizza?
live in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, pizza seems like you deliver it flat, and let's not mess with
It's
that.
not a bookshelf.
That's
You're not
been
trying to fit the
That's
books
been a
in.
form. That's what they were like, though. They
Yeah.
stacked them up like they're on books on a shelf.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy times. All right, so today Tuesday top 5 has to do with none of this. Dylan decided to wake up and choose violence and make me feel real old today, but that's fine, man. I'm going to go get in my horse-drawn buggy and hopefully get home by 8 o'clock tonight.
By Thursday.
When it's all or whenever. Unbelievable. Tuesday top 5. What are your top 5 reasons for optimism for the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars? Not talking about long-term future. We're talking about this season. We'll lean into some of what Tony Baselli said. Miss Combs yesterday, new Travis Hunter fan, was on Good Morning Football this morning, and we've got some of that audio. She was the nice lady who rode the plane with Travis Hunter and became such a Travis Hunter fan, impressed with his manners and all that. And then yesterday, so I saw somebody tweet Soutone about, these people who lean back their airline seats are like the spawn of hell. And I'm like, man, shut up. I'm tired of that whole thing. If you got an issue, take it up with the airline. Because those 3 inches I'm reclining, that's my legal right, baby. And I'm taking every one of them leaning back, because that way, if the seat's straight up and I try to sleep on the plane, my head's going to flop forward and it's going to be a bad time. But that little bit makes a difference. If you don't like it, then book a seat in the front row. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I think there are legitimate things to complain about that people do on an airplane. The seats reclining the inch that they recline.
It's like 2 inches.
Right. It's not the thing. Like, if the people around you are all taking off their shoes and socks and putting their feet up on seat, it's like,
that's not good.
What are we doing?
Yeah. Keep your socks on.
This is not your home.
I'm with you on that, right? But I did purchase a seat with the ability to recline the whole 2 to 3 inches.
Yeah.
I'm going to take advantage of the full 2 to 3 inches.
And now, when do you recline?
This
immediately?
Is the key. No, wheels up. Because wheels up, everyone's tray table is up. They don't have their laptops out, nothing, right? So then as the front wheels are up and you're like at a 45-degree angle lifting off, I'm reclining back. The other person's leaning back in their seat. Right? So now when the plane levels out, they sit up, they've got a new normal. All right, I've reclined 2 to 3 inches. Now I set my stuff up and I know how much room I've got to work with.
I always ask when I do it anyway. Like, it is one of it's like, I'm going to lean it back. I always do that kind of thing. And
I do not.
I've never had anyone that reclined that I was like, why aren't they? It's like, yeah, whatever. It's their seat.
Well, and somebody said, here's Travis Hunter out here being all polite on the airways, and Dempsey's trying to cause an international incident. Look, first of all, I have not been on a plane in several years. All right? I just saw somebody tweet about it and just whine about the people who recline their airline seats. There's a special circle of hell or whatever.
It'd be a weird circle.
It would be a very strange circle.
It's like, why are you here? It's kind like, I reclined my seat every airline I got on.
And the other guy's like, you're going to get my knee in your back the whole time. I'm like, look, buddy, that's you being the you-know-what, all right? I'm doing it within the rules here, all right? You're trying to take it to an extreme where we're going to need an intervention for you here, all right? Anyway, let's move along, all right? We'll get to the countdown today. We'll hear from Big Bo. We'll hear a little from Basil Tootin. Some of the guys that we didn't get all to coming out of rookie minicamp, Tony, a little Caleb Ransaw, and others along the way. So stick around. A lot to do here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You know what? Great way to start your day off with a little Dandy breakfast. French toast, my favorite. They got so many different options, bacon and eggs. I mean, you'd be amazed at what Dandy can whip up for on-the-go convenient breakfast food in an area gate station. You pop it in the microwave for 60 seconds and you're ready to go. Convenient on-the-go food. Hey, look, sandwiches and subs. Dandy's got the classic line. That I say classic. They've got a lot of their staples, their roast beef and their turkey and their tuna salad and on and on. But they always add to the menu as well. But they always want to make sure they've got the highest quality ingredients they can find, locally sourced as often as possible, that delivers that fresh taste for all that great variety of sandwiches and subs and all the other kinds of foods they put out there. Veggie trays, fruit cups, protein packs, you name it. Dandy's probably thought of it, and if they haven't, it'll be coming soon. So go to an area gate, fill up your tank, and fill up your belly. And when you're hungry in Duval, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. Some people search a lifetime and never find it.
I found it.
You found it.
I found it! Guys! I found it!
1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors to get the job done right, Z Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Visit Coastal Equipment for a demo today.
Greater power for the great outdoors. Coastal Equipment.
Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentist and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
It's 1010XL's You Pick'em contest.
The PGA Championship.
Locked down by Pella Windows and Doors.
Good looking shot here.
You can win $1,000 of jewelry from Beard's Diamonds.
So what happens now?
Enter at 1010XL.com.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Get ready. Welcome to Rockville is gearing up to take over the Daytona International Speedway from May 15th to 18th with Green Day, Korn, Shinedown, and Linkin Park. Plus Bad Omens, Incubus, Good Charlotte, Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains, Pierce the Veil, Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Sublime, Hailstorm, I Prevail, Three Doors Down, Jimmy Eat World, Motionless in White, Bush, Chevelle, Mudvayne, and so many more. Welcome to Rockville. North America's largest rock festival is finally here. May 15th to the 18th in Daytona Beach. 5 stages, 4 days, and over 150 bands. Select passes on sale now at welcometorockville.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
It's going good, just being able to run to the ball, just using my speed to an advantage, just running to the ball, going to attack the ball as well.
Khalib. Oh, that's Caleb Ransaw. Sorry, TJ Slaughter. You got that one wrong. But that's okay. We keep rolling with it because that's
Come that teal and black, baby.
Anytime you go back, Caleb Ransaw, to your big moment. There it is. Just Ransaw. Just fast forward to Ransaw. But anyway, we're glad to have Caleb Ransaw. Hope he turns into a superstar. I hope all the Jags picks turn into superstars. We'll find out. He had a one-on-one with Hayes Carline coming out of rookie minicamp. You could find that on demand on the 1010XL website, 1010XL.com. Most of our different audio platforms out there, you can find our old interviews. Just one more from him, Tony. You can go check out the full interview on its own. Just, it's interesting. Travis Hunter talked about the defense. Oh, that's easy, right? Like, that's pretty simple. I've already been looking at that. Like, two-time academic All-American. What about the defensive scheme from Caleb Ransaw's point of view?
Honestly, wherever I'm needed, whatever helped the team the most, that's where I'm willing to go. But, I've been at safety. I've been playing a little bit of nickel, too. So just wherever I'm needed, I'm playing. So it don't matter.
Yeah, for him personally, obviously, that seems to be the move. It's a projection, though, right? Guy that hasn't done it, except in kind of the post-season draft circuit leading up to it, Senior Bowl, those kind of things. And so you do have some foundation of seeing him react when he's able to track the receiver with his eyes towards the line of scrimmage, but It's a pretty small sample.
It is, and I would expect that when they do get the whole team on the field next week, right, in OTAs, that whatever snaps he's going to be getting when they have opportunities to run snaps where they're running defense 7-on-7, 11-on-11, whenever that comes into play, you run him at safety until you figure out whether or not he can do it, right? Like, that would be, I think, how you have to approach it in the offseason, and you may mix in a little bit of everything else because there is the flexibility with the player, but 90% of what I'd be asking him to do right now would be at safety.
Oh, yeah, why wouldn't you, right? I mean, that's your primary plan to play him there, and I would think, Tone, that nickel for him, like, go take that guy. You know what I mean? It's more complicated than that, but he's got a lot of muscle memory if you were forced into a situation where you needed to use him in that capacity.
Yeah, he's played corner, so if he has to play man corner, you would think he'd be comfortable doing that if he knew what his assignment was going to be in that kind of situation. Another one of the rookies who we heard from a couple days ago, but we didn't get to it yesterday here on this show, running back Bashal Tootin, who was asked about how excited he is among all the things that he's going to be asked to show at some point. You can't show all of it at a rookie minicamp, right? But among the things that he's excited to show off is his ability as a pass receiver coming out of the backfield.
Very excited because I know it can help the team in multiple ways. I'm a running back that just doesn't only run the ball. I can get back there on special teams, catch kicks. I can, split out and run routes out the backfield and catch and be productive that way as well. So I think my skill set works best for the team, and I'm just excited to go out there and show that, coming Sundays.
Look, like you said, in this environment, you notice if guys can't catch, maybe. It's a pretty simplified thing. Tootin did have a drop that I noticed on Saturday, but he also made a really nice reaching out. You call it just a shoestring right off the top of the turf kind of grab on a low throw from Seth Hennigan. So, I mean, he's shown the ability to do it, Tony. And, that's the modern NFL back, right?
Got to be that. Yeah.
If you're going to be the lead back in an NFL offense, you got to have some of that ability at your disposal. What are the rookie minicamp days? What was it like getting acclimated out there on the practice field for Bashal Tootin? Holding. So the last couple days, Bashal, what have those been like for you out at rookie minicamp? I'm going to go. Are we moving on at this point? All right, moving on. I think there were
something's wrong with our system last day. I don't know what.
Let's guess. What do you think Bashal Tootin's last couple days were like at rookie minicamp when he was asked this Saturday, Tony?
It was nice to get around the guys, get acclimated.
Good to be around the guys, right?
Kind
of get the rust off a little bit.
Yeah.
Good to be out here building some bonds with my teammates.
Yeah.
Showing my abilities. It's a blessing to be here, and there you go. It's only going to get better from here.
Excited about the next steps.
Excited about it. Just good Lord shined on me the day the Jacksonville Jaguars selected me. What's that?
Last 2 days?
You have something now?
What's the last 2 days been like?
Oh, what have the last 2 days been like?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have that from Basil?
The past 2 days been amazing. I'm a college football player before, but, bumping it up to the league, you'll see the difference in practice. But just being around a lot of high-level guys, getting to know them is what I've been most excited about. But I think the most surprising thing was the heat for me. I'm from up north, so it's kind of different down here, the humidity and all that kind of stuff. So that's something I'm looking forward to, getting used to and acclimated to.
Yeah, we did miss that one on the bingo card, heat, right? That's a whiff on our part. But, just kind of what you expect to hear on opening
I'm glad we found it before I added my snarky ETN better watch the tracks.
No. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Don't put words into Basil's mouth like that, man. Come on now. We're not throwing down if he wants to throw down the gauntlet, that's up to him. About throwing down the gauntlet. I think they'll all try to do that with their play on the field. All right, we'll step aside here. When we return, we still want to get to Sandy Combs. She was the nice lady sitting on the plane with Travis Hunter. She appeared on Good Morning Football, had some wonderful things to say about Travis, as you would imagine. And sounds like we've got a brand newly minted Jacksonville Jaguar fan in our midst. And we'll begin the countdown as well, Tony. The Tuesday Top 5 reasons for optimism. We'll give you some of ours when we return for the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark here with you. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Apex Roofing and Contracting. The peak of the industry, the apex of the industry, yes, they are. Right in Jacksonville Beach. Look, the rainy season is no joke in Florida. Any time of year, you got to make sure your roof doesn't have damage, leaks, or it just plain isn't worn out. Well, Apex is local, dependable. They're going to show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. You don't get that with everybody in the business. No shortcuts, no stress, only quality work you can trust. Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. Visit them online at apexroofingfl.com.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. 1010XL takes you inside the program director's office with Dan and Jeff.
And you're out of your neighborhood, big city boy.
Mornings
I want your ass. Who in the you think you are?
on 1010XL.
Everybody calls me Psycho.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Prosser here. It's a great time to sell your home, and I got just the people to sell it for you. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though. Hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize your hassle, that's the key. And I've been telling you who those experts are. Are you listening? I recommend Chad and Sandy Newman. Go to chadandsandy.com, the local real estate experts you can trust with the sale of your home. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. So whatever problems you think you have, I've got you this promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. There you go. Simple as that. Christopher on Anastasia Island. My home was too big for my needs. I wanted someplace smaller and easier to manage. I got multiple offers and sold in 3 days with Chad and Sandy. You can too at chadandsandy.com or 904-414-6200.
Are you thinking about a pool for your home? Blue Haven Pools is Jacksonville's largest pool builder. They've built pools for over 20,000 satisfied families since 2000. It's never been easier to design the perfect pool for your home, family, and budget. Call Blue Haven Pools today at 904-620-0090 to get a free in-home estimate for your in-ground pool, or visit bluehaven.com. Don't let another summer pass by without a pool. Join thousands of happy Jacksonville pool owners in a Blue Haven pool.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through May 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Jacksonville's building a playoff team in team.
All right, we're going to play to win.
Follow 1010XL's coverage of organized team activities, backed by Heroes Lawn Care and Hurricane Grill and Wings. Tune up the off-season with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, you have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits. You have the right to choose your own doctor, too. And I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation, the auto accident experts.
Hey, Hicken here. So much of what makes us a family takes place in our homes. That's where Zero Res comes in. I love Zero Res, and this month get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet and air duct cleaner with May Mayhem. A 3-room special starting at $149, plus the 4th room is free. You owe it to yourself and your family to breathe healthy, happy, and clean. Call Zero Res 28757 or go online at zeroresjacksonville.com and say you want the Hicken special. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Plumbing problems? AC not blowing? Septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. Waddle over to duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Man, we're just looking this up because somebody on the text line talking about Caleb Branshaw going from nickel corner to safety in the pros. Text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, which, by the way, you can reach at 641-1010, 641-1010, also for the Checkmate Coatings hotline. And in case you've forgotten after one day of having it pounded in your head, at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
There you go. All right, so on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, very rarely does the player switching positions work here in Jacksonville. Greg Jones probably the best one. It rarely works in the NFL overall. So I wanted to go back and try to recall what Rashean Mathis did as a college player. And he did play corner, but he also played free safety. I know there was some safety play for him involved in there, Tone. Man, maybe it's just because it's been so long since he came to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I did not realize the college numbers of Rashean Mathis were as gaudy as they were. What is it, 31 or 32 receptions? It's hard to find the exact period. I got 32 interceptions, 14 in one season, which is the FCS record. I just said on the break, I said, hey, you guys, who's got the most interceptions in an FCS season? You guys had no idea. I wouldn't have guessed it. Right? Yeah. No, 14. And then one of you guys said, why they keep throwing at him? Why? Who did Bethune have on the other side that you would keep throwing on Rasheed Mathis's side? At the point he's got like a dozen picks. Do you go, I don't know, maybe we'll test the other guy. I don't know, you know?
Somewhere in that time, yeah.
I mean, how bad were the offensive coordinators going up against Bethune-Cookman? I don't know. But I mean, maybe Rasheed was just that good. Obviously, he was fantastic. He was a great player here for the Jaguars.
Yeah, they started him at safety early on, didn't they?
Here?
Yeah, and then moved him to corner.
Well, and that's the thing. He played both, so it's not like like a guy who's done that. Is that really a position switch? I don't know. He's at the. It's like Travis Hunter's not. If he just played corner in the NFL, it's not a position switch. He's given up something else that he did, which of course we're not doing around these parts.
Yeah, I'm looking at his Wikipedia page right now. Rasheed really is, I mean, you start reading about what he accomplished.
It's absurd.
Right, and he made his professional regular season debut in his first career start in the season opener at Carolina, made 2 combined tackles, a pass deflection, and his first career interception that day off Jake Delhomme.
Off Jake Delhomme.
In his professional debut.
Right, who'd go on to be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
132 pass breakups. Bro, that's crazy.
It really is.
That is getting your hands on the ball all the time.
Again, why are you throwing that
And
way?
he caught 32 of them, right? I mean, like, so, man, you got away with it the other 100 times. Anyway, you know, not like we didn't know Rasheed was a really good player, but sometimes those numbers just put it into context for you, just how dominant he was, you know, and never for a moment was he a bad pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He even played pretty decently, I think, for the Detroit Lions.
He was
the
good.
last few years of his career. You know, he didn't fall off the table, certainly. It wasn't like, man, we got rid of him just the right time. But, all right, so there you go. All right, why don't we'll save Mrs. Combs for hour number 2. Why don't we get to the countdown to get this thing cranked up? We're doing the Tuesday Top 5 today on Top 5 Reasons for Optimism for your 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars. And we'll use them if they match up with kind of going back to what Tony Baselli said yesterday about some of these subjects. So, Dylan, strike it up.
Number 5.
Tony, what do you got?
I could have said might in here, but I'm not going to because that's how confident I am in this. The pass defense will be improved.
Okay.
It would be hard for it not to be because it was among the handful of the worst in the league last year. So it's a really low bar for improvement, but I think you look at all the pieces that they added in the secondary this year that I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying I think it's going to be a top 10 unit in the National Football League, but I think it'll be somewhere back to kind of middle of the road from an NFL perspective, which would be a big-time improvement. We talked a little bit about it on Friday because we were talking about, are they more improved on the offensive line or in the secondary?
Yes.
Right? Like we were talking specifically about that, and I brought up what they would be running at nickel last year versus what it looks like they'd be running at nickel this year when they go to that kind of defense, and the options are just so much better for the players that they can put on the field. Travis Hunter is obviously a big part of that, wherever he's going to fit into that puzzle. But number 5 for me, the pass defense will be improved.
Could have 4 new starters out of the 5, including the nickel position with Tyson Campbell holding his spot. Ransaw could take the free safety spot. Eric Murray's going to be your strong safety if Hunter is the quote starter over Jarian Jones.
Last year, this time we were talking about, is Antonio Johnson going to start at strong safety for him? You know, like that. And
he's still an intriguing player.
He is, but it was 3 weeks into the season that everyone was like, someone else has got to play. Someone else has got to play. Like it was at that point with him, and you learned it so early on. There are so many spots where you just feel better about the option they'll be putting on the field to start.
Yeah, and by the way, intrigue only lasts so long. It's year 3, new regime.
Absolutely.
You start at ground zero like everybody else. Go out and prove it and earn
the
it.
Spot,
right? Or go beat out Eric Murray.
Yeah,
if you are that guy, you know. All right, so number 5 for you is the improved secondary. Number 5 for me. Look, I know this is kind of low hanging fruit, but I don't think, you know, we're talking about reasons for optimism, right? Whether they're founded or not. I think if Trent Baalke were here and made every single move the same, I'm serious about that. If he had made every move the same, would we have the same level of optimism? No, we'd be like, where did Baalke screw up here? Who did he reach on? Who did he do? You know, just simply because it was him touching it. The cloud of dread that had hung over the franchise and the fan base has lifted to some degree. At least you're allowing yourself the possibility again of opening up your heart to the Jacksonville Jaguars to potentially get smashed, into smithereens. But that's what love is like, right? You got to risk it. You got to put it out there. With Balky, I think there's just a lot of, it doesn't matter. We heard it. It doesn't matter who they signed. Doesn't matter who the coach is now. Yeah. Balky's going to be undermining him. Balky's going to do this. Balky's going to extend the wrong guys. And maybe all that is right. Right or wrong, it was a palpable sense of dread to me that he survived the firing of Doug Peterson. And for that time period, I mean, it was as depressing, even with the chance to, hey, man, we got a potential new coach coming in to get excited about. Who is that coach going to be? Are we going to have to settle for our fourth or fifth choice because guys are withdrawing their name from consideration because they don't want to work in this atmosphere?
When I was trying to put together my list of 5 yesterday, and I jotted down everything that I think might make the list, essentially. And then I put it in order, my 5 to 1, picked my 5, and then I took a look at how people were responding because I knew you had already put the question out. I was just curious. So I was like, all right, let's take a look at what people are saying. And it hadn't even occurred to me, the Balky thing. Like, that's how far that is in the rearview mirror for me. And it's in part because of how good I feel about the direction everything is going that I'm not thinking about. But when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that could have been on my list.
Because would you feel as good about the way everything is going?
Not
if his presence was still here, right?
No, but that weight's been off my shoulders for a long time now, and I am so much enjoying the direction that they're going with so many different things that they're doing in the organization that I'm already at the point where I'm not thinking about it anymore.
I got you.
Right? I'm not thinking about it anymore. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah. And there were so many people that were saying it. I was like, oh, yeah. Like, a lot of people are still feeling whatever that was. I can understand why they would.
Even if you're not feeling it, you recognize that the environment that you've got now would not
100%.
have been possible with his presence, not 100%. To this degree. Even if, the Brian Thomas move was brilliant last year.
Yeah.
You traded back. You got additional picks along the way. So who do we get, by the way, out of that? We got Caleb Ransaw, right? And I guess we traded up from the other one that became Bajal Tutin, right? Because that was the 126 was the other one from Minnesota that they ended up moving up in the Travis Hunter deal on that one. So basically, the pick that turned into Caleb Ransaw and Bajal Tutin came along with Brian Thomas Jr. and Keelan Robinson, all for one first rounder. That's a brilliant move. It's okay to acknowledge that occasionally there were some good things done here, but it doesn't trump the overall cloud that came with it. So, and again, had they done this, I think people would have been excited about Travis Hunter, but it would have been kind of in spite of Trent Baalke. I think they would have questioned more. Is it really the smart move? Because with Baalke, we're not going to get out of the top 10. That pick we're giving up next year could be another top 5 pick. We're giving up too much. Yeah. Now, I think people are like, F them picks, Rams motto, and we're going to go out and win football games this year.
Was it Keelan Robinson that they picked up with the extra
that was
pick?
the other one. Right. Yeah, Keelan Robinson. So, I mean, look, even if he amounts to nothing, it was a free throw-in in the whole deal. Dylan, number 5 for you.
I'm going to go with the new regime. You got a clean slate. You're not, having a coach with a new GM or, vice versa. And I'll kind of add to what you were saying, Mike. I mean, had Baalke drafted Travis Hunter, how confident would we be that we're going to use him correctly?
And that, whether that's fair or not, right?
Yeah, it's hard to know exactly how we would have felt about it, but there would be a whole lot more pessimism around anything.
Well, and part of it would be, would we have Tony as executive vice president? Would we have Liam Cohen, who had withdrawn his name from the search? So would we have Robert Saleh? And I like Robert as a guy, and I think he's a good defensive coach. I don't know if he's a great head coach, and some offensive coordinator that your guess is as good as mine, who that would be right now. Is that the group that's going to get the best out of all this young talent? At least, I think we'll get to Liam Cohen in the countdown here. All right, let's get one more in there, Dylan.
Number 4. All
right, for me, number 4 is the push to acquire and play young talent. This is more like, this is a page-turning organization now. Like, if we're not going to, Gabe Davis, you know what? It's going to be a cap hit. We're not going to use you. You're not going to help us. We're not going to think about it. Why cling to the mistakes of the past? If, in fact, and by the way, Gabe Davis, Still 26 years old. Will not shock me if he goes somewhere and has a bounce-back type season, right? It won't take much to have a bounce-back type season once he gets healthy. But, Tone, it's best expressed by the Jags coming out and saying, hey, look, we don't want to sign a DN that's going to block any potential guy that we draft from getting on the field. And then once they find that the board doesn't fall the way they want it to, Ashton Galati might have been a Jag, right? If he was there at the 70th pick, right? But once it doesn't fall that way, they got to play. All right, we'll get Emmanuel Ogbah in here on a one-year deal, but we're only doing it now that we know we don't have a more youthful way to attack this. Sure. And just not clinging to the mistakes of the past. And there are no sacred cows, so to speak. There's nobody that with a handful of exceptions, Trevor, Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, Brian Thomas Jr., that are coming back and can have a high level of expectation about their playing time and impact on this football team. The whole mindset of turning it over to the youth is number 4 for me.
Sure, and I think the real rubber meets the road moment with that kind of mentality is when you're having to make that decision with someone you brought in. Right, like we mentioned Antonio Johnson a moment ago, and what if he does play well enough to earn, a starting safety spot at some point in this season? Are they willing to push aside a guy that we
signed Eric Murray?
Right, like are they willing to, if it is clear to everyone that Antonio Johnson is the best player at strong safety at some point, are they willing to say that's more important to us than whatever we gave Murray?
I think the optimism of everyone says now, yes, they will be.
I think they're a whole lot more likely than the regime that was just here to do that kind of thing, for sure.
Dylan, what do you have it for?
I'm going to say the offensive line. It's been a problem the last couple of years, and they haven't fully addressed it. They, traded for Ezra Cleveland, and they might have gotten somebody else, here and there, but they've done a full revamp, getting a couple of guys in free agency. You drafted 2 guys. And one thing that I didn't really think about until I looked this up the other day on Fred Johnson, the guy that they got from the Eagles, who played at Florida.
Yep.
He played, he had 20-plus starts at guard in college, and he hasn't played guard in the league since he got in the league in 2019, but it's something else to also consider that he could also play inside, too, and not just be a swing tackle as a backup.
Yeah, you got him. Odoga can do the same. I mean, they love
Their whole
that
offensive
versatility.
line is that, yeah.
Well, here's what the executive vice president, Tony Baselli, said about wanting to be excited about this offensive line group yesterday.
Yeah, I'm really excited about our group. I mean, I think we went and got 4 guys in free agency. We drafted 2. We have, I think I want to get this right, I think we have 9 or 10 guys who've started games in the NFL across the line now. Really happy with what Liam did with our coaching staff, Sean Surratt, watching him operate and his assistants and the details and kind of how they're going through it. I have a lot of confidence in Sean Surratt, our coach, and the group that we've pulled together. It was obviously a point of emphasis. We invested heavily in that area, and I think you're going to see the results on the field. We have a lot of work to do still. Obviously, we've got to go through camp, but I think we have good depth, and I think we're going to have a really competitive atmosphere during training camp this year to see who takes one of those 5 jobs up front, and we'll see who's there on opening day.
A lot of people asked, several people at least, wanted us to ask Tony to project the starting offensive line. I'm quite sure Tony would have deflected that and said, hey, look, that's not my job. This is a Liam Cohen decision. This is a coaching staff decision, right? But we wanted more the overview of how you felt about everything you've added. You know what's there, Tone, right? And so he thinks there's reason for optimism. I hope he's right. The depth is definitely better.
Yeah.
Is the front edge better, though? Can you get more out? Can Surratt get more out of Anton Harrison and Walker Little, Tony? And what about that battle at left guard? And do the guys that they signed in Hainsey and Macari automatically beat out the competition? And all that's going to play out on the practice field, and that's I don't think really Tony's purview.
No,
at the moment. So number 4 for you is what?
Number 4 for me is Liam Cohen being hired as the head coach, and we heard how excited Tony was, talking about him yesterday, and everyone's been excited about Cohen since they made the decision. Heck, all the Trent Baalke stuff, it feels like happened because they wanted Cohen. Right, like in part, it was whatever was going on with the interview with Cohen, and then he says, I don't know, and then they say Shad says we're letting go of Baalke. We're going in this direction. They go after him hard. They land him, right? I get it. There weren't a whole lot of teams that were angling to talk to him this year in this coaching cycle, and having been around him for the few months we've had him around, I don't know what everyone else was missing that we seem to be seeing, right, Emily? But the excitement around him, and even, everyone that was out there at the rookie minicamp this weekend, I can't tell you how many clips I saw of people just saying, here's Cohen coaching whoever, right? But here's him coaching Hunter. It was all the guys. It's him one-on-one with all the young guys out there on the field. All those things, nothing has happened with Liam Cohen to this point outside of a weak Duval that first time. Nothing has happened with Liam Cohen outside of that has given you any reason to be anything but over the moon about the decision they made to go with that guy in this direction.
Here's what Tony Baselli said about what made Liam Cohen the right guy.
And then he got me, though. I'll be honest with you. Probably, that 30 to 45-minute time after talking about Trevor and kind of his approach and overall as an organizational approach and everything else, he pivoted real quick and said, one of the most important things is we have to get the offense and defensive lines right, that you win the game. And he started going down this path, and I'll be honest with you, he played college quarterback. He's an offense coordinator. So in my mind, immediately, never having met him, is like, is he going to be the typical let's throw it around the field and look and show everyone how smart we are because we can throw it better than anybody else? And he immediately pivoted and went and said, it starts up front. It starts when you break the huddle and what that group looks like and their ability to control the line of scrimmage.
Know your audience, Tony. When you're talking to Baselli,
yeah.
Emphasize the importance of the offensive line, no doubt. Yeah. We'll talk more about Liam Cohen coming up as we continue the countdown. Tuesday Top 5 reasons for optimism for the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars. Hit us up with your list as well. Got a bunch of them on social media we'll get through before the next hour is out. Halfway home, this is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Pella Windows and Doors, best in the business. Don't just take my word for it. Consumer Reports ranks Pella number 1 in all the major window categories, and now is a great time to upgrade your personal space, your home. 0% financing for 60 months at Pella. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. You can get a free consultation scheduled by going to PellaJacks.com or visit Pella's showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows for quality you can trust and savings you can't miss. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
From the preseason to the playoffs and every day in between.
Each man individually preparing himself to be the best he could possibly be. Better than he's ever been. Because that's what it's going to take.
At 1010XL, the season never ends.
Join us at Miller Electric May 29th from 4 to 7 p.m. We're on the lookout for talented people, from entry-level to experienced electricians and foremen, security system installation and service technicians, fire alarm system service technicians, and both senior and junior VDV technicians. This is your chance to get hired on the spot. Meet the managers, indulge in delicious food, and snag some awesome giveaways. Don't miss out on this electrifying chance to power up your career. Miller Electric, May 29th, 4 to 7 p.m., 6805 South Point Parkway.
Buying a diamond, wedding band, or piece of fashion jewelry in Jacksonville? You have two choices. You can go to locally owned Beard's Diamonds, or you can go to one of those mega national chain jewelry stores. The national chains are pretty much all the same. In fact, did you know that some of them are owned by the same conglomerate? Yes, the same Wall Street company owns all the big names. So if you're looking for extreme value with genuine personal attention, come experience the Beard's Diamond difference. At Beard's, our diamonds come straight from the source. We hand select each one for maximum brilliance. We don't have to apply corporate markups and tack on salespeople commissions, so we beat the chains on price every single day. Beard's has the strongest warranties, not gotcha clauses in fine print. Beard's has all the top designers, including Tacori and Viraggio. Beard's doesn't have out-of-state regional managers calling about sales quotas. We are all local, family-owned, with total freedom to do what's right for our customers. Beard's Diamonds, all the selection, quality, value, and service you want from local people, accountable only to you. Beard's in the St. John's Town Center.
Gun charges, drug charges. I'm Attorney Malcolm Anthony, and I specialize in handling these types of felony cases. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
We know who they play, and now we'll finally find out when. Join 1010XL all day Thursday for the big reveal. Open by Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors, and Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of the Tax-Slayer Gator Bowl. I'm here to share that the Gator Bowl is actually a year-round organization. We're known for the Tax-Slayer Gator Bowl football game, which has been a Jacksonville staple for more than 80 years. Off the football field, the Gator Bowl has also hosted the annual Florida State baseball game, a champion of local youth through Gator Bowl charities, and a strong networking organization of local individuals and companies through our membership. We're actually looking to grow membership, which is an affordable, fun way for you to get involved and give back to our community. To learn more, visit GatorBowl.com for more information.
As a Florida homeowner, you're no stranger to mosquito problems. And although it's tempting to use DIY methods to get rid of them, mosquitoes are relentless. That's why it's important to enlist the help of the mosquito experts at Florida Pest Control. At Florida Pest Control, we offer specialized treatment solutions that are effective against mosquito infestations and are committed to keeping our customers protected year-round. For your free quote, give us a call or visit flapest.com today. Florida Pest Control, your local mosquito control experts.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Yo, ET here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
Denny Thompson here. You gotta check out Tyson's Showroom Home Theater with surround sound and comfy theater chairs. You can transform your living room into a cinematic experience. I can stay there to watch all my games. It's that comfortable. Call Tyson today and bring the theater experience home. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL local sports update brought to you by the First Coast YMCA. Jags quarterback Trevor Lawrence is going into his 5th season with the Jags and is hoping to take the team back to the playoffs for the 2nd time in his career. The Jags have made it known that he is the face of the franchise and continue to put the pieces around to help benefit Lawrence. Lawrence's former head coach at Clemson, Dabo Swinney, spoke on Lawrence still being the right man to do it for Jacksonville.
Not just the foundation of football, he's got a great foundation to life. He's passionate about doing the work, which is really what it takes. He's just an incredibly grounded guy. He's a great teammate, and man, is he gifted, but he can't do it by himself. They'll just give Travis Etienne the ball enough, he'll make something happen. I think they've put some good pieces. Obviously, Travis Hunter, man, wow, what an amazing young talent he is coming in there, and sounds like, again, they're getting the offensive line where it needs to be.
From XL Primetime Live at the ACC Spring Meeting. It's 78 degrees at 11 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, got this one on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We were talking about Rashean Tone. I went to Inglewood, played with Rashean Mathis. He was our quarterback at that time. I played strong safety. And at a spring practice on a quarterback keeper, he knocked me out. LOL. He was a tough dude even in high school. Well, there you go. That's how you know that's probably true. Nobody was setting themselves up to look good there. Yeah, Rashean flat trucked me, man.
Yeah.
He was that guy. No doubt about it. All right. Thank you for those. Appreciate them coming in. Got a bunch of them here on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Baselli's right about the offensive line. Remember, in the Meadowlands in December of 2022, they broke the huddle. Brandon Sheriff led them to the line of scrimmage. I just knew they were going to win and make the playoffs. Right? They did. I don't know if I knew that. It depends on what point of the game we were talking about, but what a game that was, man. Unbelievable. All right, let us go on a quick look around the rest of the NFL.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The full NFL schedule again will be announced tomorrow night, but they have been releasing some of the schedule here over the last couple of days. The NFL has announced a doubleheader for Saturday, December 20th, Philadelphia at Washington, Green Bay at Chicago. That day on Black Friday, Chicago will be at Philadelphia all over the place. Christmas night, Denver at Kansas City, and this morning they announced almost all of the international slate for this season. They haven't announced the opponent for the Chargers week 1 there in Sao Paulo yet, though Kansas City is rumored to be what that'll be. They officially announced that tomorrow, though. But over in England on Sunday, September 28th, it'll be in Dublin, there in Ireland, to open up the European slate here on the NFL schedule. It'll be Minnesota at Pittsburgh on Sunday, September 28th. The next week, Minnesota will still be there in England, this time at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London to take on Cleveland. The week after that, the New York Jets will be the home team on Sunday, October 12th, taking on Denver. The week after that, your Jacksonville Jaguars, Sunday, October 19th, playing host to the LA Rams at Wembley Stadium. Then Sunday, November 9th, it'll be Indianapolis as the home team against Atlanta. And the final international game will be Miami against Washington on Sunday, November 16th. That will be in Spain this year. So that's at least the international slate. San Francisco is hosting Gabe Davis for a visit yesterday. Cincinnati edge rusher Trey Hendrickson said in a statement to ESPN that there's been no communication between him and his representation in the team since the draft. Hendrickson has consistently said that the team told him last year that if he had another big season, they would figure something out with him this year. He led the NFL with 17.5 sacks after having 17.5 sacks the year before. He's been a Pro Bowler all 4 of his seasons in Cincinnati, but no long-term deal even being discussed. Apparently, between the two sides, the Atlanta Falcons have signed linebacker Caleb Johnson, who spent the last 3 seasons here in Jacksonville, playing almost exclusively on special teams. And Cleveland signed 5 players yesterday, including former Jaguar safety Rayshawn Jenkins. Browns linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah has been placed on the team's reserve / physically unable to perform list. Will miss the entire 2025 season. He suffered a neck injury that has kept him out since week 8 last year.
Yes, I've seen speculation he may never play again. Speculation, but we know he won't play this year. You missed this one, Tony. Former Jaguar on former Jaguar crime.
Oh.
As the Texans waive Greg Jr. to make room for Foley Fatukasi on their roster right now. So you just can't win, can you, Greg Jr.? All right, there you go. Tony's look around the National Football League. Let's pick up the countdown. We're at number 3.
Number 3.
Told you. Dylan, what do you got at 3?
I'm going to say Travis Hunter. I felt like going through the draft process, he was a DB that's going to sprinkle in on offense, and obviously feels the opposite now that he's going to play full-time offense and then sprinkle in on defense. With each day that goes by, I feel like they're going to play him full-time on offense and then a lot more what we think on defense. And when you watched him play in college, and his snap count was over 100, which is insane. But the most impressive thing with him with that snap count and all the games that he played, he never got tired in the fourth quarter. Like, he still continued to make plays in the fourth quarter. And obviously, we all know about the phenomenon and how popular he is outside of football. Like, we were talking with Hacker last night about how popular he is. Like, is he the most popular Jaguar that's ever been here. I think he is just because he's popular outside of the world of football. Like, Leonard Fournette was popular. Fred Taylor was popular when he came here. But Travis Hunter just reaches outside of the world of football for some reason. I can't explain it really, other than he's just popular on social media. So I'll say Travis Hunter, the optimism and everything that he can do on and off the field.
All right. Before we continue along here, you're talking about the popularity, right? Well, obviously, we saw that evidenced by him getting on a plane and sitting next to
fan, that's for sure.
Sandy Hawkins Combs, right? Who, lovely lady who just wrote about how polite Travis Hunter was, didn't know who he was. He didn't try to big time or anything like that. And said, you've basically got a fan for life right now. And she appeared this morning on Good Morning Football to talk about that experience.
And then he took the selfie, and I started smiling, and I said, I'm going to send this to my son. So I sent it to my son, and Charles immediately answered. He never immediately answered when I called him. Never. And said, Mama, how did you sit next to Travis Hunter? I said, I'm in first class. I said, and he said, I don't believe you. I'm going to do a FaceTime. He immediately FaceTime. So I said, Travis, my son want to say hello to you. He don't believe I'm sitting next to you. So I did. They spoke to each other. And I said, that's it. This is my time. And I hung up on it. And I just couldn't believe it. And he sent it to his brother and cousins and my 3 brothers. And all of them were trying to call me, but it was too late. You got to take off. I had to go into air mode.
Oh, that's amazing. And they later on in the interview, they said, when did he really believe you? When I hung up on him. I got to go. Tony, which I have to bring up one of our great moments in sports radio in Jacksonville when we got the AP Rolodex leaked, right?
Yeah,
the sports Rolodex. Yeah. Dylan, you probably heard me talk about this. It was page after page of just like numbers of you could who's who in sports, just crazy list of people. And so we're like, all right, who's the guy we can cold call live on the air that won't hang up on us, that will actually talk to us? And we picked Don Zimmer. And Zim came on, and much like Miss Combs here, he's like, told us, he goes, I'm on the phone with my son. He put him on call waiting, and he said, Zim, you know, blah, blah, blah. You're live on the radio. We're not trying to trick you here. We'd love to talk to you. He goes, hang on. Let me get rid of my boy. He hung up on him and came on with us for 20 minutes. So there you go. Long history of that kind of thing. I just love that, man. And what a sweet lady Mrs. Combs, Ms. Combs seems to be. So
and there was a lot of great stuff in there. I just got a minute of the 10 minute.
Right. I mean, it's like a 10-minute. It's well worth going and seeking it out over on Good Morning Football is where she appeared this morning, and she's like, I feel like a star. Good. You are a star. We'll have to get her on Jaguars Today at some point if she's not tired of doing the PR scene. All right, Tone, for you, number 3 on the countdown of reasons for optimism for the 2025 Jags.
Trevor Lawrence is still the quarterback. And he's still going to be the quarterback here for the next 3 or 4 years. And, you know, I know there's a small group of the fan base that laments it every time we bring it up. Sorry, lament. Like, that's all I can tell you to do in this kind of moment. You have done nothing to convince me to not be excited about Trevor Lawrence being the quarterback. I don't think that the ceiling has lowered on the potential for him as a player in his career. Not that he's met the ceiling of what I expect him to hit at some point, but he hasn't met it yet. So I can understand people that are frustrated, disappointed, whatever level of that you may be feeling. I have not given up on where that ceiling is for Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback in this league. I think it's still within his reach here in the next couple of years to get it. It's why I'm excited about Cohen, because I do think he can unlock some things for him in that kind of regard, and thus he lands at number 3 on my list.
Yeah, he landed at number 3 on my list as well, and for a lot of the same reasons you're talking about. He hasn't shown you something that is going to give you the ultimate confidence yet, but the combination of the physical talents, the mind, the ability to make every throw, combined with it's like my 3 and 2 need to be combined, but I went with Trevor on the 3 line because I'm with you. I don't think the ceiling's been reached. Now, you also heard the expression, words to the effect that nothing gets a coach fired more than the word potential, right? Potential, because it's not always realized. But he still has it in my mind. At 25 years old, Trevor Lawrence still has the best of his career out ahead of him. We asked Tony Baselli yesterday about expectations and why he believes in Trevor Lawrence himself.
Listen, we believe in Trevor Lawrence, and so the expectation should be the same as here. We believe he's a franchise quarterback. He's going to lead us to a lot of victories. And what I can tell our fans is this is an individual who is ultra competitive, and is putting the work in, both from a physical and mental standpoint. He's obviously rehabbing the shoulder that he had. He's throwing. He looks good, and I think the marriage between him and our coaching staff, and from the mental, let's call it above the neck. The work being put in as far as understanding the system and the language, and so he can have complete command. We even, as we thought about those backup quarterbacks and Nick Mullins, we're going to run the ball better. We're going to do a better job up front. We're going to play better defense. Obviously the quarterback is the most important position in football today. However, you got to surround those guys. You got to help them have success. And it's still a team game. It's still the greatest team game, so we need to get better around Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor needs to get better. He needs to improve. He needs to continue to push the envelope, but we need to get better around Trevor as well.
Hear what Tony said. Nobody is saying Trevor doesn't need to get better. He does. He needs to be better himself, but the pieces that he works with have to be improved as well. It's, a symbiotic relationship with all these guys, and, hopefully they're putting those pieces around him, and hopefully Trevor will take that massive step that we think is still in him there, Tony. We've got him at number 3. We'll continue the countdown on the other side. Top 5 reasons for optimism for the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Wonder what Rick Ballou would be doing if he wasn't on 1010XL?
The ultimate gentleman spy. Irresistible to women, deadly to his enemies.
Rick Ballou.
A legend in his own time.
Evenings on 1010XL.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's superior craftsmanship and timeless design. Right now, buy 2 windows or patio doors and get the third at 60% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires May 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Caliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
Like to learn how to fly an airplane? Well, you're not alone. High Flying Jacko here, inviting you to listen Sunday morning. We'll start your aviation career with a 60-minute ride on the airwaves of 1010XL. The High Flying Show, Sunday at 9 on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. I was talking to a buddy the other day. His HOA told him his old fence had to go. I said, man, call Coil Fencing. They've been around the block since 1927. Heck, they probably built half the fences in Jacksonville. They do it all. Tough chain link for security. Those fancy aluminum ones the HOA actually likes. Nearly a century of keeping yards safe and looking good. You need a fence? Call Coil. You can trust the folks at Coil. 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. COYLE Jacks.com.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town, setting the standard in our hometown. Quality service, the best around. Coolidge is the cat that cares about your heating and about your air. Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, when a customer goes to buy a diamond, how do they know what they are getting?
Frank, that's a good question because what they know comes from the assurances given by the seller, and they can only judge based on the knowledge and reputation of the selling store. Now, over the last 25 years, I've seen some customers misled, and unfortunately, Underwoods was the bearer of bad news too many times. In the 1980s, we saw diamonds brought in with exaggerated grades and no laboratory grading reports. Then in the 90s, we saw some of the poorest cut diamonds ever, even though they had laboratory reports on weight, color, and clarity. Then the American Gem Society opened a laboratory and started grading diamonds for cut, and poorly cut diamonds got priced for what they were. Now we see diamonds from the internet and other places where diamonds are bought sight unseen with a lab report and a bogus appraisal. Unfortunately, not all those diamonds match the reports they're sold with, but how would a customer know? Probably today more than ever, the truest statement is, if you don't know diamonds, you better know a jeweler you can trust.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beaches Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tea time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beaches Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Man, I mean, Denmark's spending too much time with me because he reads my mind now. I mean, literally, I almost had it out of my mind. We're talking in the break about different stuff. And I was just about to say, you know, if this were a different show, we would have spent this whole 2 hours on how rigged the NBA draft lottery appears to be. And Dylan goes, what about that NBA draft lottery? I mean, just like, it was halfway out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, just unbelievable. Look, and I'm not this conspiracy guy. I know the Knicks are the ones who started it with Ewing, that the frozen envelope theory and all this. By the way, I saw your boy Hacker out there, Dylan, talking about, this one was fixed and that. He didn't mention when Orlando got that number one pick a couple of times. Didn't see him bemoaning that.
Yeah, rules for thee, not for me.
Exactly. But, I mean, really, hey, Dallas, trade Luka to the Lakers so we have a star in L.A., and don't worry, we'll make it up to you. The only guy that could make it up to him is Cooper Flagg.
The nature of how they do it invites the speculation that it's
We're
fixed.
not even going to show you the ping pong ball process.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the most ridiculous part.
And I'm not the conspiracy guy on these things. Like, I don't think everything's fixed. I don't think everything's rigged when your team – I think there's a lot of natural inclination for, like, referees to throw the flag in favor of the team, the home team or the more popular team, because there's a lot of
there's a peer pressure
unspoken pressure to it, right? But, whew. I mean, that one was something else. We'll save any further thoughts on that. Let's get back to the countdown for now. Your top 5 reasons for optimism. Let's catch us up as well on where we stand in the countdown. Dylan, where do we leave off?
Number 2.
Tony Smith, what do you give us your 5, 4, and 3, please?
Yeah, at number 5, I had the pass defense will be improved. Number 4, Liam Cohen taking over as the head coach. Number 3, Trevor Lawrence. And at number 2, this is an organization that for the first time maybe in 20 years, probably longer than that even, that I feel this way about it. If they need to be aggressive about something, they will be. Right? And that's what the Gladstone going after Travis Hunter in the draft, the way that they've approached a lot of the things they've done in this offseason, it feels like if they do get at some point in this season where they are in the middle, they look like a very competitive playoff team. Right? Like if they get to that point when they're coming to the trade deadline and they need to make a move, they're going to make a move.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the way that it feels to me with this football team. And I can't remember the last time that I felt that way about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I like it. I think that's similar to my number 4. Number 5, I had no more bulky. The cloud is lifted. Number 4, the push to acquire and play young talent. It's in that vein, the aggressive mindset. Number 3, we both had Trevor Lawrence, but it's closely tied to number 2. Yeah. Liam Cohen's offensive mind for me. I mean, that's the thing. Took Baker Mayfield, career best 28 touchdown thrower, and he threw 41 last year. Now, is it a one-for-one comparison? No. And yes, Mike Evans, future Hall of Famer. If you told me Brian Thomas Jr. is going to end up in Canton, I'm not going to be surprised, right? Mm-hmm. They lost Chris Godwin about half through the year, and they were patching it together. Jalen McMillan, young guy.
The offense was
Kate
flying.
Otten. Yeah. The offense kept flying, kept flying. In fact, they brought their 4th-round running back in there, and the offense continued to get even better as the season went on. Baker's previous passing yardage high was something like 4,000, less than 4,100. Right? It's over 4,000. Threw for 4,500 last year. So it's the raw material, but it's the guy that's going to be molding that raw material that it's that combination to me that makes it so strong. So I got Cohen's offensive mind there too. Again, these are reasons for optimism. Doesn't mean they'll all pan out the way we hope they do. Dylan, what do you have at 2? And give us the recap.
My 5-4-3 is the new regime, the offensive line, and Travis Hunter 3. Number 2, I'm going to say Liam Cohen. I brought this up last week. What he did to Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucs in the red zone is insane. Baker Mayfield had 29 touchdowns and 1 interception, and he had the highest completion percentage out of any quarterback in the league last year. And we remember last year when they started training camp, whenever it was in the summer, the very first thing they did when they put on full pads was the red zone because they wanted that to get fixed. And then you listen to Baselli yesterday, and he talked about Liam Cohen, quarterback in college, and, does he want to just throw the ball around? It's like, no. He knows that you have to win the game inside out. You value offensive line, and they've shown it by getting free agents and draft picks. They've drafted 2 running backs. You still have a good running back or 2 already on the roster. So he is valuing things that are sustainable and that help you win for the entire season, not just throwing the ball around with a quarterback.
I like it. All right, let's get to the final mark on the countdown. Number 1. There it is. All right. And for the record, the potential of the edge rush room I considered a lot, right? But a lot of that was in place last year. Didn't result in a lot of wins. But I do like the fact that Agba is here. You've got a new defensive coordinator. Hopefully we'll get the best out of him. Anyway, that didn't make the cut for me. Number 1 for me, Tone, let's not forget Brian Thomas Jr. in this, all right? We're all swept up in Travis Hunter. Fantastic. Brian Thomas Jr. is an established playmaker at the NFL level who I think is only going to get better. And you've got this combo now that you can squint your eyes. You don't even have to squint very much. And you could envision them quickly growing into the best young wide receiver duo in the league. I didn't say they're that yet. Travis Hunter hasn't played a game yet. But in terms of raw ability, and people are sleeping on this. I see all these best wide receiver duo lists out there. And I get it, guy hasn't played yet. But you can't tell me that this isn't clearly the most exciting you should be about a wide receiver pair for the Jaguars since the days of Thunder and Lightning, right? And, I mean, all the love for Travis Hunter is well-deserved, but let's give some love to Brian Thomas Jr. in this as well. And having that combo in a passing era, those weapons at your disposal to go with Liam Cohen's offensive mind, to go with Trevor Lawrence, and his ability to make all the throws, that to me is the most exciting thing that they have cooking right now.
Yeah, I had it at number one on my list as well. Brian Thomas Jr. has a running mate in Travis Hunter, right? Like that's what I had at number one on that list for me. It's to a point with BTJ where I'll see different sites. I think PFF was doing a series here the last couple of days where they were saying players that have the potential to be the best players at their position, right? Like young players that have the potential to be the best player at their position going into after the 2025 season. And I've seen those kind of lists here over the last couple of weeks, and everyone I'll see put Malik Neighbors on there. And I think highly enough of BTJ that I'm like, why isn't anyone putting BTJ on that list? Right, like that's where I think that he could wind up. That's the kind of talent that he has. That's the way he played last year. And you add a player of the caliber of Travis Hunter to run with him this year, yeah, absolutely. Number one with me for a bullet.
All right, we'll circle back to that. Dylan, what do you have at one for you?
I'm going to say the offseason was built around Trevor Lawrence and helping him with the offensive line, with the weapons, even though they got rid of Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, and Gabe Davis. They got
to think about that.
Yeah. You got all the receivers that, not all of them, but you got help with him with Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. on the outside. You got the offensive line. You've helped him with your running backs. I just go back to 2 years ago whenever he was getting hurt week after week after week with something new, almost it felt like, and there was no help around him. And it was, okay, you are 100% the offense, and you were the one that has to carry him, and you didn't have a run game, and you didn't have anything else to rely on. It feels like it's going to be a little different this year with him and not having 100% carry it, but he's going to have help with the run game and improved offensive line.
All right, we already heard Baselli weighing in on Trevor Lawrence, so for the final time, we go to the executive vice president here. This was on being in the war room, the whole experience of preparing for it and getting Travis Hunter as the top prize.
And then when it comes to Travis Hunter, when James came to Liam and I, with the thought and the idea and the strategy of like, let's trade up and go get the guy all three of us really want. Because we spent weeks leading up to the decision to do that, of like going through scenarios. Is like, is there any way that Travis Hunter could fall to us? And it became clear that there's no chance. I mean, this is the best player in the draft. And the only person that anyone's going to take before Travis Hunter is one of the quarterbacks if they're valued at. And so we just saw no scenario. And I remember sitting in the draft room, and it was just Liam and I and James, and he came up with the idea. And immediately Liam and I were like, okay, what do we have to give up? And he went through it, and we're like, let's do it. And I give James a ton of credit, the way he executed it, the way he laid it out. His communication with Andrew Berry and the Browns, give Andrew Berry and the Browns a ton of credit for keeping it under wraps and keeping their word, because it wasn't we didn't agree officially to the trade terms because it was all dependent on Cam Ward going one, because we weren't going to trade up to 2 if Tennessee took Travis Hunter. And so it was a real tight circle in going through that. And then obviously we wanted to communicate with Shad because it's a major strategic decision for the organization. He signed off and said, like it, let's go. And after that, we didn't really expand the circle because we wanted to keep it quiet. We wanted to keep the competitive advantage. That's all to go to say. It was fun for me listening to all you guys speculate what was going on. I'm like, they have no idea what we're about to do.
You're right. It kind of started. There was some of that momentum in the 48 hours leading up to the start of the draft.
A lot of Jags looking to move up.
Jags could be moving up. They're the team to watch. Browns are definitely, in talks. Yeah. Nothing is finalized.
It kind of got muted with the idea of, man, what's that going to cost? What'll that cost? Right. A lot of us were. I know I was still stuck in that headspace. And then when it actually went down, we talked about it right after it happened. The price doesn't bother me at all. Really doesn't bother me at all.
It did give me a little sticker shock. I'll admit to you. I mean, I do think they overpaid based on kind of the value chart.
Yeah.
But if Travis Hunter turns out to be this unique, it's like once you you spend something, if it's really that valuable to you, you kind of forget what you paid to get
that's the number 2 on my list. If they need to be aggressive, they will be.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. Our top fives. We'll get to some of yours coming up on the other side. A little 10-10 take mixed in as well. Thanks again to Tony Baselli. Go check out the entirety of that visit yesterday on demand on any of the 1010XL audio platforms. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The race is on.
They're side by side.
It's NASCAR's All-Star Race at North Wilkesboro Speedway, Sunday night. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower, 1010XL. Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Need fresh and flavorful lunch? Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad in every bite. It's quick and delicious, so why wait? Come taste the best chicken salad today at Town Center, Durbin Park, or Butler Point at Chicken Salad Chick.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com. Powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to and should be yours. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather starting to turn for the better, look ahead. Get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are best in the business. If you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Wing Power Fishing Forecast Show. Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
Hey gang, Prosser here, and it's always great when you can replace a problem with a promise. And let me get right down to it. When it comes to Chad and Sandy and selling your home, here's a promise that you can count on. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Now, more. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though, and hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize hassle is the key. Those expert agents, and I'm recommending them to sell your home, Chad and Sandy Newman. There have been lots of you out there on the First Coast who are taking advantage. Take David and Heather in Fox Ridge. This is out in Orange Park. We wanted to move to Keystone Heights to get closer to family, away from the city. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. What you hear is true. We got multiple offers and sold in 3 days for $15,000 above asking price. Call the local experts I trust and recommend to sell my home and yours. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200. ChadAndSandy.com.
Hey, Hicken here. I want to tell you guys about Lift Power. Lift Power, a Jacksonville-based business, been around for more than 50 years, family-owned and operated, and always on the lookout for good folks, experienced lift truck and dock-and-door technicians. The benefits out of this world: 401k, company vehicle, paid training, sign-on bonus. Offers so great. Come see why Lift Power has been voted one of the best places to work for the past several years as well. We want you to be a part of the family. Don't let this opportunity slip by. To learn more, all you got to do is go to liftpower.com. Check them out at liftpower.com.
When you hear Florida Gators baseball on 1010XL, it's brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators, and Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, glad you are out there today listening to Jaguars Today. We appreciate all of you. Tomorrow we'll focus on the schedule, which is not out yet, but our question of the day tomorrow, Tony, will be asking you to predict what primetime games the Jags get. Who are the opponents? You know, if you want to get into the detail of what week, is it Monday Night Football? Is it Sunday Night Football? Is it Thursday Night Football? Whatever the case, as deep into it as you'd like to get as we anticipate the schedule release tomorrow. And obviously, we will break it down with the obligatory win-win-loss, win-loss-loss.
The absurdity of it, but we'll participate.
It's kind of what you do when the schedule comes out. You make predictions as if you didn't know who the opponents were anyway, but there's something about knowing the flow of the season and when they fall and when's the bye week and when's this. And
it's an interesting year for it, given how many long road trips they have this year, right? Like they have I think it's at least 4 road trips that are 2 or 3 time zones away, right? And that's pretty atypical of an NFL season for a team on the East Coast to have that many trips that far west in any given year. But this year, that's just the way that it worked out, where they have the 2 west both on the schedule this year. It just happened to work out that way. So a lot of road trips, and how do they organize the schedule around those kind of things? It'll be interesting to see tomorrow.
All right, let's hit up today's 10-10 take, Dylan.
10-10.
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran-owned and operated.
All right, we touched on this like 10 minutes ago. The idea of an NFL draft lottery to me is so absurd. Would it draw a lot of eyes? Of course it would. Anything the NFL does draws a ton of eyes. And would there be that excitement? Yes, but I'm coming at it from a Jacksonville Jaguars supporter's standpoint. Do you think this team is ever getting the first pick in the draft when we've got a 1.7% chance in the lottery, Tone? Because I don't.
No.
I think somehow the Jaguars would just find a way to never improve their draft slot. We earned the 3rd pick, but look, we're picking 5th this time because 2 teams came from the outside and had their ping pong balls bounce the right way. No way do I want to give up. It's bad enough when your team stinks and you got to live through the whole season. And to not have the optimism, to find out you're the worst record in the league and you're going to end up picking 3rd in a year like this, okay, maybe you get Abdul Carter, but you know what I mean? Like you don't know where the talent fall off is going to be in any given year. Hopefully the Jags are not near the top of the draft for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But what we're experiencing today with the NBA, I just think the people expect it from the NBA. It's like it's an accepted part of the lore, whether it's true or not. Yeah, they rig these things all the time. I don't need that. If you're that team right now, would have been sitting there taking Cooper Flagg. Imagine how you feel when the Mavericks come up here with a 1.7% chance or whatever it was and get the wink, wink, ping pong balls to bounce the right way because we never saw any ping pong balls.
Right, like NFL fans can still find reasons to point fingers at the league saying that they're playing favorites, right?
Sure.
In some situation, like they still do that kind of thing, but it's more just like, this is how I feel about what they're doing. I wish that X wasn't featured so often. Why does anyone still care about Dallas, right? Like those kind of things. I can understand. And look, I match those feelings most of the time. It's like, I don't care about Dallas. Right, like not all that much. Not any more than I care about basically any other football team outside of Jacksonville.
Right.
I don't care.
But I'm interested. I'll read anything about any team in the NFL.
Right. The NFL has us like that. It's the whole league draws some interest to some level, and for the most part, it's pretty even. Right? Your interest in all the other NFL teams outside of your own, it's pretty even. You pay a little more attention to the teams in your division, right? Because you want to know where you are going to be compared to your direct competition, and that way, and a little bit more to the conference than you do to the other conference, again, because that's the road you have to go through to get to a Super Bowl, right? But the path for that kind of stuff is very clear. And I try to put myself every year when the draft lottery comes around with the NBA, I watch it, and last night would be a classic example watching the reaction to it because I'm not actually watching the NBA lottery, but watching the reaction to it, and I'm trying to put myself in the position of where people feel like the Jaguars are in the NFL compared to where they would feel like a team in Jacksonville would feel in the NBA, right? And if you think you're looked down upon as a Jacksonville NFL team, a Jacksonville NBA team, you would catch no breaks ever, and there would be nothing put in place to help you get back competitive. The Jaguars are where the Jaguars have been for 30 years, in large part because they haven't handled everything the way they needed to. It's their own fault. It's not that they haven't had top picks. It's not like the NFL said, Jacksonville cannot have Trevor Lawrence. We're not allowing this, right? And I have no doubt that if there was a lottery that year for that pick, Trevor Lawrence is not coming to Jacksonville.
He's a New York Jet.
Right. There's no way. That's not the way I think that works out. But in the NFL, you don't have to worry about that. It's not a part of the equation. You get worried about, why does Kansas City get all the calls? Right? Like, that's where the conspiracy is in the NFL. It's the Chiefs get all the calls. And part of that is, I think you were right, it's the peer pressure of the moment. Right? These are human officials. They do human things every now and then. It's not the league putting a finger on the scale. There is an emotional reaction every now and then in the moment from people when they're doing stuff, and you're like, come on, be better than that.
Right.
And we criticize it when we see it.
Rise above.
Right, but it's not the league is fixing the game. It's that stinks.
At least that's my point of view. I don't think that that's happening.
But it does, and I am a big Major League Baseball fan, but I can see it. There are haves and have-nots in Major League Baseball, and there are haves and have-nots in the NBA, right? And both of those leagues are fine with there being haves and have-nots.
But there has and has-nots for different reasons. There are haves and have-nots in Major League Baseball because not every team has the same economic structure. In the NBA, you've got a system now where there are only 12 guys on the active roster, 15 on the full roster. One guy tilts the gravitational pull so much. And those guys have been able to, in this era, dictate terms on where they're going. Like Giannis is basically going to pick his team this offseason and send me there, and he'll have it manufactured to get to where he wants to go. And until the Bucks hit on another superstar with like a middle of the first round pick, good luck replacing Giannis Antetokounmpo.
It's impossible.
Right. So anyway, let's be glad that they're doing things the way they're doing them, no matter how frustrating the NFL can be at times. It is a superior process, certainly, to me. And like, Dylan pointed out, look, man, how many times does a team win in the last week of the season and screw their draft position? Happened with a bunch of teams last year. Happened with the Jags last year. Happened with New England. And there are a bunch of teams that could point and go, if we had just lost this game, we would have had Travis Hunter, or we would have had Abdul Carter, or we would have had the ability to trade down and get more picks because somebody would have paid us off for this, or whatever the case may be. But these guys, like in the NBA, if it doesn't work out for you, if you have whatever, you can go to the G League. If you're young enough, you can go to Europe and make a bunch of money. You can go all over the world and play basketball. There aren't as many avenues if you don't make it in the NFL. So you get that chance to start in week 18, buddy, you are going crazy to try to win a football game and impress not the team you're playing for necessarily, but your next potential employer down the line. All right, let's get to some of the responses we got today. Run through these from Jag Warrior. These are top 5 reasons for optimism. 5-1. Healthy Trevor, and he's not expected to do everything. In other words, his burden should be lightened a little bit. Improved O-line, Travis Hunter, Liam Cohen, and much improved culture at number 1. Mac in Bear, Delaware goes the fan base. We're optimistic about the new regime. That's number 5. James Gladstone, no fear. Liam Cohen, intangibly rich / Tony Baselli's influence. Number 2, improvement in the trenches. And number 1, Travis Hunter, our shining star. Professor Floyd, a new ecosystem with intangibly rich players. O-line competition, revamped secondary. BTJ, Travis Hunter. They are both so good I had to put them on the same line. Let's see. Somos Jaguars, Mexico, Tony. Trevor has elite weapons. Hunter is really happy to be here. It'll impact the locker room positively. That's enough. You know what?
Yeah.
I haven't really spent much time thinking about that, but
he's got an energy.
He does, right? He's got a talent that you can't just be happy-go-lucky and impact the locker room unless you've got
Andrew Wingard has an energy to him.
Sure.
Right? Like he's a great glue guy.
And they can only go so far.
Right. Like he's a okay player, great glue guy in the locker room. He's the guy you would go to afterwards because he's the one that's going to give you the quote. Right? Like that's who Wingard's been for the last several years, but it's not Hunter. It's not the same thing.
All right, number 3 on that list, Baselli wants to get a Super Bowl for the Jags. Number 2, Gladstone knows his job very well. Number 1, the staff, not only Cohen, but Yudinsky, who doesn't get mentioned. Poor Greg Yudinsky. Yeah. Like he's gonna, well, he's gonna get no credit for anything that goes on, right?
Hopefully he gets hired as a head coach somewhere.
Right, exactly. And then he uses that as a stepping stone.
The offense is good enough that it turns into that form. That'd be fun.
Let me get one more in here. Jag Fan 15. Sounds like we have players that love football and not just getting paid. They probably love getting paid as well. Hopefully it'll be an offensive line that can move people around. New play caller on offense. Different defensive coordinator. And, of course, Travis Hunter getting mentioned in pretty much every list today. You can go back and read through some of the submissions, see what you agree with, what you disagree with, and have those kind of arguments and discussions on social media at MD_1010XL for the Tuesday Top 5. That will bring us to closing time and time for Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Service by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
Warren Brooks is here with us. Hello, LB.
Hello. I don't think in all the years I've listened to you talk on the radio that I've ever heard you wax poetic about love until today's show. You talked about, the love, being a fan is like love. Like you have to allow yourself to love
you have to
and you
be
might
open
get hurt.
to get hurt. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know that I've ever heard you do that before, but I loved
I
it.
waxed poetic exactly, Tone, about it. But I mean, it's you gotta put your heart out there, or you don't. If you're one of these people that's always, I'm not gonna let it bother me. Not gonna let it bother me.
The only way to know it's real is because it can hurt you.
Well, and you should.
Absolutely.
You don't get the peak experience if you're the person who's always protecting yourself. And I protect myself in certain mental capacities.
Sure.
Like there are certain teams, if they got the goods, nothing but a championship is acceptable. Other teams, you are happy if they make the postseason and advance a little bit. It all depends on what your expectations were going in. So give us, Lauren, a reason for optimism for the Jags that does not include Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Any of the new coaches or front office. Okay. So what is one of your reasons you're optimistic that this team is going to be more competitive or better in 2025?
I'll give you 2. One is Brian Thomas Jr. And his ability, his speed, the way he catches the ball, everything about him just screams number 1 wide receiver on a team. And then the other is I think they're going to be able to run the ball. I think that was a huge point of emphasis. And when Trevor Lawrence post-season last year earlier this year, said we haven't been able to run the ball effectively and consistently the way we need to, that screamed to me that Trevor needs help. And they listened to that. They knew that as well. And I'm not saying that Trevor's a bad quarterback by any means. And it's just that the reality of the situation is the really good teams in the postseason all could really run the football.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Offensive line's a huge part of that, obviously.
And the running backs are big too.
I'm glad you mentioned BTJ. I do feel like we're in the Travis Hunter honeymoon phase right now.
Yeah, people have forgotten about
if we had drafted Genty, we'd be like, but we also have BTJ. And there's be so much more focus about we got a true number 1. We might have 2 true number 1s. When you got to give Travis Hunter a little bit of time to get his feet wet. But,
sure.
I mean, potentially, as I said earlier, potentially the best young wide receiver duo in the league. And I realize T. Higgins is not old, and I'm saying potentially. I didn't say they are there yet, but I think that's the raw ability that they have. So
Right.
Let's get it out of them.
And look at what Brian Thomas Jr. did last season without a healthy Trevor Lawrence for a lot of it, right? And they didn't even utilize him that much in the beginning of the season. And so it's just his route running is unbelievable. And I think that's only going to help Travis Hunter, right? Because we know Travis Hunter is not yet a polished route runner. And now he gets to go and compete with Brian Thomas Jr. out there on the field every day. And obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. has competed with some really good receivers like Malik Neighbors as well. So I just think that that's going to help him too.
All right. What do we have on helmets and heels today?
Yeah, we'll talk some more Jags. Let people hear from Wyatt Milam and others. Also, Dabo Sweeney joined XL Primetime yesterday, as did Fran Brown, the Syracuse head coach. They're going to talk a little bit about some current Jaguars. And then we'll also talk about the NBA draft lottery. I know y'all mentioned it. Yeah, exactly. And a whole lot more. We also have PGA Championship conversation with Gary Smits. That comes up at 12:40. So we will talk some golf. And then at 1:30, we will talk to John Burton and talk Titans as we take our tour around the AFC South. So a ton coming up.
All right. That sounds like a lot. And yes, lot. I mean, look, NBA draft lottery is already like people think it's rigged, or
Sure.
it's rigged when it needs to be.
Sure.
Right? LeBron stays home.
Right.
Ewing goes to the Knicks and on and on.
McMillions.
But this
The
was
documentary McMillions.
This was
Everyone
over
can
the
win
top,
a prize,
man.
but you can't win the $1 million prize.
I mean,
right?
Right, exactly.
Right.
Like, don't make it so obvious.
Yeah, you can win a free cheeseburger, but we're not giving you the $1 million
Holy
prize.
cow. Great documentary,
Yeah.
McMillions. All right, LB, have a great show.
Thanks so much.
There you go. I will wax poetic later in the week. I'll do more waxing later on. All right, that's going to do it for us today. And thank you for participating in the Tuesday Top 5. For those who did, tomorrow on the program, we'll look ahead and anticipate what the Jags might be rewarded with. Somebody's going to want to see BTJ and Travis Hunter in primetime, I would think. So how many primetime games? Who are the opponents? When are they going to fall? Which primetime platform will they be on? All that kind of stuff. We'll ask you your thoughts on that tomorrow, along with a bunch of other great Jacksonville Jaguar-related topics. For Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. We appreciate you listening. Jaguars Today returns tomorrow at 10 a.m. here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The mice